Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of the Next Dimension Podcast, your podcast that's all about VR and AR. And today with a special episode and a special guest, I would like to say hello to Tony Vitillo, the Skarred Ghost. Tony, how are you doing?
Hey Seb, it's a very pleasure to be here with you today with every one of your viewers. I'm very well. What about you instead?
Oh man, I'm doing really good. I'm very well, and I'm happy to talk with you tonight. I'm happy to find out what exactly it is you're doing in VR because, well, you're doing so many things, right? You are a developer. You're developing a game right now. It's called Hitmotion. It's now on SideQuest, right? Or it's on App Lab. And you're also an author, right? You're writing a lot about our industry, right?
Yes, I'm this community. I'm in VR since 2014, and I decided one day to dedicate my life to it. And
Oh, wow.
I always been a developer.
Well, man, you dedicate your life to this, man. You're even more crazy than me.
That's
Wow.
for sure, man.
Oh man, cool. I'm so looking forward to this. This is going to be lots of fun. And you, as your beautiful accent can tell us, you are from Italy.
Yes.
Congratulations to your beautiful win of the Euro Cup.
Thank you. It was, professionally it's good that my customers have not seen me that night or that Sunday when we were celebrating with my friends, jumping, screaming. It was super fun,
course.
Sport can unite us all. That's amazing.
Of course. Yeah, it can unite us when we win, but probably if there were some people from England there, probably they would not be so happy. I mean, on that night.
Well, anyway, they arrived at the second place. I think England made a great job with those amazing players.
Second place, right.
But only one can win, and of course, as an Italian, I'm happy it was my team.
Right. And here, Colin from England. Greetings go out to Colin. Right. Yeah, cool. So, we're going to talk lots today about what you're doing and all the kind of things, so I'm looking forward to that. For all of you out there who do not yet know this podcast, this is the Next Dimension Podcast. It's all about VR and AR. It is live every Saturday, 9 p.m. Time in Rome, 8 p.m. in London, noon in San Francisco, and 3 p.m. in New York City. And you can also download this as an audio podcast from iTunes, from Spotify, from Google, from Alexa, from anywhere where you can find podcasts. And I would be very happy if you would give it a good rating, probably a 5-star rating if you enjoy this show. We have way too little ratings. Right, I think under 20, it's not good enough. So if you enjoy this show, it would be so good if you could simply go to the podcast app on your iPhone or iPad, yeah, right, and open the podcast app, find the Next Dimension Podcast, and give us a 5-star review. Yeah, so today with an interview episode, with me and Tony. All the other people that are normally on this show, they are away on summer vacation or some other way, not around. So today it's a very intimate show with me and Tony, and I'm looking forward to that again. All right. So, first of all, Tony, in the beginning of these shows, we always ask our guests and we all ask ourselves, how was your last week? What did you do? How does your normal life as a developer and as an author of your articles look like? How was your last work week?
Well, my last work week was pretty cool. I mean, luckily I have not under pressure for projects. this week. They will come towards the end of the summer. But I had times to, for instance, work on Hitmotion. I found a way to stream audio with mixed reality plugin to create mixed reality video with it. I made some experiments with Unity. I had a cool interview with the people behind the Burning Man, and I'm trying this little toy, the Matte Gates Glow Plus that they sent me to have a look at it. So my week is mostly, I can say probably 1/3 of the time writing stuff or speaking with people on social media or whatever like this, and the 60% trying to be a developer inside Unity or coordinating with the other people in my team, new technology workers or Vroom. So.
Okay. So how about your team? How many people are in your team?
Well, I'm mostly, let's say, like in 2 teams. My main team, that is new technology workers, we are flexible people. You can say that there are around 10 people, but we're all freelancers that join together to create some projects. So depends on the project. We are more or less people. Instead, with the Vroom team, we are probably with, I can say, 7-8 people as the main core, and then other 10 that comes around for the bigger events, like big concert with last year or something like that. So not super big teams, but very passionate people that like to fight together for cool projects.
Okay, cool. So what kind of projects do you normally do? So I know right now you're working on a game, right, called Hitmotion. We're going to talk more about it later in this podcast. So what if you don't work on Hitmotion, what other projects do you do? Everything is about VR and AR, or what is your work?
Well, most of the time, I try to work only on AR and VR projects, or at maximum something anyway in the multimedia side, like computer vision or 3D, anyway in Unity, this kind of stuff. When I don't work in projects of ours, like Hitmotion, usually we work on projects for third parties, like B2B projects. A company wants to have a proof of concept of a training experience in VR, and we can develop it for them. So usually we create what the others would like to have in AR and VR, or help them in understanding the technology.
Okay, cool. And for your other project, which is your blog, the Skarred Ghost, right? So probably you can tell us a bit more about it, like when did you start it, and what kind of articles do you write there?
Well, I don't know if you want to hear the full story.
No, not the full. Not the full story. Just a short version. We're going to talk more about it a bit later.
I work on it since 5 years, and I mostly like to. I write every kind of articles, tutorials, interviews, and editorials, reviews, everything that comes to my mind. I think that the main characteristics of what I do, of course, apart from my point of view of a developer, is that I try always to be very detailed, go in depth on the topics. So I like to
very in depth,
write everything I can. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. For all the people who have not checked out Tony's articles, check them out. You can find them at skarredghost.com, right?
Yes.
So how about this Skarred Ghost? why the name?
Well, I haven't revealed it yet. Probably I will do one day, when I will be 80 years old or whatever. But it's a bit a secret how I come with this name. But it was intended actually as a game, as a nickname, as an indie developer. But actually, I never used it as a developer because it would be pretty weird to work with a customer and say, "Hey, hello, I'm the Skarred Ghost." I think people would run away. But I used it a lot, in the communities, etc. It's pretty fun.
Right. So now, just the people who want to read your articles are scared. I'm kidding, man. Okay. Yeah, so Skarred Ghost, check it out. I'm going to put the links later down into the description of this video. Okay, cool. Yeah. So about my week, actually, I'm still totally on the Vario VR3. I'm still like checking it out. I'm still making through the lens videos. I had those videos up on the channel about checking out the Vario VR3 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and also checking out the Vario VR3 in big screen to watch movies. And wow, both times I was absolutely blown away by the quality. Tony, have you checked out the Vario VR3 already?
No, I had the opportunity only to check out the VR2 at one exhibition.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was anyway pretty cool. But I'm very curious about the XR3, the one with the
Oh
mixed
yeah.
reality
Oh
stuff.
yeah. All
But I'm
right.
envious. If you want to lend me yours or to gift me yours, I
It's
will be pretty.
unfortunately, it's not even mine. Like it was given to me just for a month, and then I have to send it back. Unfortunately, so even I cannot keep it. It sucks. But anyways, the VR2 it was already good, right? But the field of view was so small, if you can remember. But for the
Yes.
VR3, it's like whoosh, it's like index style, and wow,
Really?
yeah, oh my god, I'm totally in love with that thing. It's totally fantastic. You would love it. So yeah, hopefully I can show it to some people here at the MRTV headquarters once I open the MRTV experience again, and once people can come here. I had before Corona, I had this business where people actually came here to the office, right? And I showed them all the headsets because I have them all. And then, yeah, last 1.5 years I couldn't do it, but I will do it again, and hopefully, then, we will be able to keep the businesses open. Right,
Yeah,
right.
let's hope so. Really.
Yeah.
I would like one day to visit you, actually.
Oh man, and I want to visit you because I'm sure that there's better food around your area than mine. Yeah, man. So the triangulator says, "Can I get a Vario VR3 without a business? I want one." Well, the triangulator. Man, you will have to pay lots of money for this, right? First of all, like 3,800 euro just for the device, and then another 800 per year for the yearly fee. So that is pretty expensive. I know that there are some people who just bought it not as businesses, but well, you have to simply pay the money. So hopefully, there's going to be a consumer version of the device anytime in the future. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now, the Vario VR3, and it's fun. It's really really fun. I'm a huge enthusiast for VR, as you know, you too, obviously, and then to get hardware which makes the experience even better, which makes this feeling of being there even better. It just friggin' excites me. Do you have the same feeling when you get new hardware and it's like all better, a bit better than before, or much better than before?
Yeah, I remember, for instance, trying the Focus 3 recently and seeing all these innovations and playing with it.
Yeah, right.
When I tried the real glasses, so when I have some new toys with something that surprised me, I'm like a little kid when I arrive Santa Claus. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
you are the same.
I'm exactly the same. So about the Focus 3, what excited you?
Well, first of all, I think it was pretty stylish. So
Oh, yeah, right.
usually HTC doesn't make beautiful headsets usually, so they're very practical. But in this time, it was pretty cool to wear, and also the resolution was incredible. So when I managed to reach the sweet spot, I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. So
Yeah,
the
right.
the field of view was pretty large, and then I love to remove and take in and take out the battery. I don't know why. I loved it to use it as
Yeah.
an anti-stress. It was
Yes,
pretty
yes.
fun.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Agreed. And yeah, unfortunately, the sweet spot is not so good, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have to look for it. And in general, don't you think it's a bit sad that they cannot update the lenses and make them better?
I mean, I guess they decided to go to only one lens for both devices, to spare money on the
Yeah.
production, etc. But I think they should have waited maybe some months to polish more the design and having a bigger sweet spot, because I think that ruins a bit the whole experience with the Focus, because to reach a sweet spot, we have to move it, and it's not comfortable like anymore.
Right.
So it's probably the biggest drawback. The other one is the fan. I don't know if yours was pretty noisy as well.
It's very noisy. It's very noisy. It's like in the beginning I thought like, what the heck is going on? You know what I thought? I thought like my loudspeaker is broken of the thing.
Really?
I thought like, what is this noise? And then it dawned on me, oh my god, it is the fan. So it's like for me the problem is that the fan it changes its speed. It goes up and then goes down again. Ooh. And that's like it's like super annoying.
Yeah. And then I had air arriving to my eyes. I don't know if you had this.
Yeah. It's like it's a bit sad, right? This part, because in general this is like it's a cool device actually. Yes. I think it's a really good device, but I think for the fan, I think they can still do something about it. They can still change the firmware, and they can have it like that. It's on a constant speed, probably, and doesn't kick in so fast. Yeah. Anyways, strange. Yeah. Right. Anyways. Yeah. Cool. Okay. You know what, Tony? Before we go into the stuff that you do, let's talk about some current topics. And I'm glad to have you here as a developer, because this week we do have quite a few topics which are interesting for developers and where we can get more insight from you as a developer. So let's talk about it. First of all, let's start with this news here. Facebook deprecates proprietary Oculus APIs in favor of OpenXR. So all of their proprietary APIs are going to change in the future to OpenXR. And well, the OpenXR standard is a standard that can be adopted by all the people who want to develop for XR, for VR, and for AR. And if a headset supports OpenXR, if it's OpenXR compatible, then the app or the game will work. So that is pretty amazing news, right, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading this article this morning, and as you can see from some quotes in the article, I'm pretty excited, but of course, I think the transition may have some little problems. So it's amazing because both Facebook, Valve, Microsoft are all finally adopting OpenXR. And if you're a nerd like me, you know that comic by XKCD that talks about standards, that you have in the beginning 11 competing standards, and then I have the standards to unify them all. But actually, in the end, you have 12 standards because no one is adopting the common standard. So you just have an additional standard that creates problems. But actually, this has not happened with OpenXR. So actually, the companies are adopting it. And this is an amazing opportunity for us developers to finally create something that we really build once and deploy everywhere. Because
that's great.
It's a pain in the ass when you have to create an application and add various plugins inside Unity of all the headsets, making all the conditions. If you're building for Pico, do this one. If you're building for HTC, do this other thing. It's super complicated. OpenXR promises us that we write an application, we build it, it goes on all headsets. And for us, means lots of time that we spare in our work. Of course, there is this time now during this transition when there is a bit of confusion of what is going to happen. Maybe you have just made an application like the virtual desktop guy spent 4 years working on native Oculus APIs to optimize everything for his application. And now Oculus say next year they will be deprecated. So he has to convert everything to OpenXR.
Wow.
That's a big pain.
Okay, yeah, that's right. But then probably his app is going to work on other platforms, right?
Yeah, but I guess every other platform will do the same. So if everyone wants to really adopt OpenXR, they should abandon their proprietary APIs, sometimes, etc. So for who has already made something using that, especially the native APIs or something like that, or uses a game engine that relies on that native APIs, it can be, this year can be a problem. The good news is that from 2022 on, whoever develops something has something that follows a standard that is common amongst all the headsets.
Okay.
We hope also Apple, but I don't think it is going to happen. But let's hope so.
Why don't you think so? So you think when Apple comes out with their own headset, the Apple VR headset or whatever, you think this is not going to be an OpenXR headset? Why not?
I hope so, but I've in these years always seen Apple creating its own standards for everything.
Right.
So I'm afraid we'll have an OpenXR versus OpenXR or whatever will be the name.
Right. And anyways, they will probably be very successful, right?
Yes, as always, it's Apple.
Yeah, cool, Tony. So what do you think about Apple's next headset? What do you think is it going to be? Do you think it's going to be that headset that there was rumored before that is like a VR headset, but that has lots of AR functionality? What do you think is it going to be?
I think they're making a great job in creating confusion amongst
right now because we don't know. Yeah, but what do you think it's going to be?
Well, I think that they're working on many prototypes, and that's why there is this confusion. I think that I don't know, because everyone talks about this visor, VR and AR, whatever, something like this. Probably it can be really the first product. I'm not very confident it can be a big success. I'm more confident Apple will actually work more like Facebook is doing on the AR side, maybe first a notification phone, viewer, then a real AR headset. I don't know about this visor because the rumors are a lot. And usually when there are lots of rumors, there is something that is true. Right. But it feels a bit weird to me, imagining $3,000 VR headset by Apple.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be a $3,000 VR headset. I think it's going to be more high priced than the Quest for sure, but not $3,000. I think it's something that the people who buy an iPhone would still pick up, like probably around $1,000 or something. But it should offer something crazily amazing. I don't know, something directly from the start. I don't know, that you can watch all of your favorite basketball games in perfect VR, for example. This kind of or that you have like the perfect virtual desktop. Like with the VR3, right? With the Vario VR3, I could perfectly work, right? It's so the clarity is just like so unbelievable. And if Apple would come out with something like this, I think they have a great idea. I don't know. I think they're going to come out with something that is going to be so amazing that people just want to have it. They want to have this new thing. They're going to wear it, and they're going to think like, oh my God, Apple has nailed it. I think it's going to happen. Like, before the iPhone, there were lots of other smartphones from Sony, but nothing really made people go crazy. And I have the feeling we are in some kind of like a similar spot right now. We have lots of VR headsets, but none of them, other than probably the Quest 2, would really make the general public, think like, wow, this is like viable technology. I mean, we crazy people know it since 5 years that it's amazing, right? But it still is not really there for the public to see what this can do. And I have the feeling that Apple would be the one company that can really make it happen again. And I am not even an Apple fan, I'm like the Android PC guy, totally, right? It's so funny.
Yeah, but I mean, I was interviewing, Robert Scoble, the technologist, last year.
Right.
And he's a super enthusiast about Apple. Maybe sometimes a bit too much, but he's also very connected with the company. And I think he is right on one point. Apple apart from being a cool company, they have great UX expertise, etc., etc. They have a marketing power that no one ever has, because we all know that the day there will be a visor by Apple, there will be thousands of memes on all websites. There will
Right.
be people rushing to the app stores to try it. Every TV magazine will talk about it. So Facebook can't compete with this, because Facebook has not even a good reputation on some things like the privacy, for instance. Apple is a bit a religion sometimes. There's always
Right.
lots of buzz about what they do, and I think they can help at least awareness about the technology a lot. So we all hope that they are going to release something. I'm
Something's
only
gonna happen.
afraid of what.
Right, right. It's for sure going to make us excited. We're going to talk about it in the community, and I have a good feeling about it. Let's see. Lars. Hello, Lars Argerbeck. Nintendo is going to be the one who starts the VR AR revolution. Really cool. I would be totally up for Nintendo VR headset for gaming, because I am a huge Nintendo fan. Since I was a little kid, I was playing Nintendo, like the Game Boy and Super Nintendo, everything, basically everything. Even until now, I have the Switch. I love Nintendo. Same for you, Tony, or are you a fan
Well,
of Nintendo?
I've always been more, PC since I was very, very young. But then whenever I've been able to try something like Nintendo, like the Wii, for instance, I love to play the Wii with friends, or the Switch when I try with some friends. They always know how to nail playing in a fun way with other people. I think
Exactly.
that's the power of
Exactly.
Nintendo.
Exactly. Even though probably they don't have the best graphics, right? They never try to compete against Sony PlayStation in terms of graphics, but they always come up with something other exciting thing, right? So, yeah, big Nintendo fan. Nintendo, do something about VR. We would all be very happy.
Something better than Labo. So something a bit
Yeah,
more
yeah, right.
advanced.
Exactly. Please give us something more than Labo. Okay, yeah. So OpenXR, definitely cool, and yeah, it's going to make the world easier for developers, right? If you can just program against the OpenXR standard and then send the same application to all the different headsets and ecosystems, and it still works, that would be fantastic. So it's cool that Facebook actually, yeah, is going to adopt this standard. And I think that's probably the biggest win for OpenXR, right? Like Facebook saying, okay, we're going to use that.
Yeah, I mean, it was great, and not only Facebook, but also Microsoft. In the past, has also made something weird about standards. HTC, Valve, everyone, really everyone involved was a great news for me,
Yeah.
and really, it's something that can really change for the better the industry. How the hardware, theoretically should be accessories compatible with all the runtimes on the software side. So if I create a game for Quest, I can ship it on all the platforms. So
Right.
I think it will open lots of doors. That's amazing for me.
Oh, cool. Perfect. All right. The next topic. The next topic is the following. Facebook is unlocking AR capabilities for developers on the Quest 2. Like, oh my God, the Quest 2 is getting better and better, right? I mean, honestly speaking, this device is incredible. It's the bomb. You know probably that my stance on Facebook is not too positive, right? In terms of like forcing people to log in with the Facebook account and stuff, all the privacy issues. I really don't like that, as you know probably. But even I must admit, the headset itself, it's amazing. It's just the best consumer headset. And wow, it's getting better and better. So let's talk about Facebook unlocking the AR capabilities for developers. So, as you know, and as everybody knows, there is pass-through. The quality of the pass-through is, in my opinion, just okay. You get some black-white image, right, of your environment. However, it is in 3D. And now developers can use that pass-through to make interesting AR applications. Like here, Ben Lang from Road to VR shows it. Like probably you can draw something into your world, that is pretty interesting. Or what I think is more interesting, like here, there is some kind of virtual button that you can press, and then you can, for example, you can turn on the light in your apartment, or you can change the light to some interesting colors. And yeah, styling, you can style your world differently. Or you can use the geometry of your world. Probably you can attach some picture to the wall, to your real wall, and it was going to stay there. And all the fun stuff that you can do with augmented reality, soon developers can do with the Quest. And the Quest has so many people who use it right now. So, Tony, I want to ask you, what do you think about this functionality that now developers can use AR for the Quest? Do you think it could be like the first AR headset that is now mainstream with the Quest 2? Or what do you think about this functionality?
Well, as a developer, I'm super excited. People that follow me knows that actually I worked with AR on the Vive Focus Plus 2 years ago in 2019. So it's a feature I already know pretty well. And I think it's very, very interesting because it can unleash new things. So I don't think that's something that, the average user may be interested into. And I don't think that the Quest 2 with can become really an MR headset. Because, as you said, the pass-through is black and white. There are also some distortions. It's not that good. But I think it's cool for two reasons, especially. The first one is that we know that Facebook is building a platform. So they create something that the future headsets can use. We don't know this Quest 2 Pro that is in the works. It has color cameras, high-quality cameras, or maybe the Quest 4. I have no idea. At a certain point, there will be a headset with color cameras. And in that case, AR can become much more interesting. Maybe it can be something like the Lynx that is also very, very little.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So thinking in perspective, this is cool. Think about today. It's amazing because it can enable new things. And especially people with some more creativity can exploit it. So when we did Hitmotion, we'll talk about Hitmotion more later, but just to give you a tiny bit, it's a fitness game, and we implemented it with augmented reality in the Focus Plus, so people could play it safely. When you play a boxing game in VR, sooner or later you punch a window, your wall.
You will totally punch somebody for sure. Yeah, exactly. Or something. Yeah, exactly.
While if you are in AR, there is not this risk anymore, for instance. So you can see other people. And maybe who knows if in the future there can be also that the system can recognize the shape of other people. So you can have shared AR experiences. You can have artists dancing and drawing in augmented reality around them. You can also create, because people with the plugin that I developed for the Focus Plus, creating some experience for rehabilitation, for evaluating conditions in the brain, to also have some kind of eye treatment, because you can see your environment, but you can also highlight some objects. You can create filters. You see that they are launching some filters. And something that we thought at the time with the Focus Plus is launching an application, with custom filters where you can customize your vision as you want. The resolution is not enough, and it's not ready, probably, the technology, but it's cool. Imagine one thing that we created as a prototype is the predator vision. We create some kind of thermal vision of your surroundings.
Oh, okay, cool.
And you can look like predator. So I know that people like to, as I said, to draw like with tilt brush in AR, so you are free to draw everywhere. Creators, people like Daniel Beauchamp, that makes all these experiments with hand striking. I'm sure we created something cool with AR. So it's something new. It's something that people can exploit. And if you can say final things, sorry if sometimes I talk too much for my passion.
No. I love it. Go on.
Is that one thing I'm super excited about pass-through AR, even if it's super difficult, it's super futuristic, is what is called diminished reality or negative augmented reality. So basically the ability to remove something. We made an experiment at the time, the Focus Plus, very, very rough. And basically, I don't know, I can hold the smartphone in my hand, and with some magic, you make it disappear. So actually you don't see one object and you see just the floor that is behind it. Facebook is making some experiments on this in videos. Of course, they are not real time yet. We need time, etc. But it's very fascinating. Imagine when you are in a house and you want to put some furniture, but actually you already have furniture in your house. What if you could remove them from your vision, the real ones, and put only the virtual ones? You can do that only with Pastor.
That's a good idea. Or for example, at one point in time, we're all going to wear AR glasses all the time, right? And then, for example, my wife, she can program into hers, like whenever she sees me, she's not going to see my beer belly, but she's going to see me like a strong body, you know? And then I don't need to go to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
What do you think about this idea?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's pretty nice, and many you can.
Yeah, right. So I think this is a genius idea. I mean, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's also the power of giving your new technologies. People can come with new ideas. Some of them are funny, some of them are useful, some of them are crazy, and that's why I love these updates to the Quest. They're always new things.
It's good. It's good. It's really cool, and probably with this, people can simply get a first idea about AR, what it can do, because basically nobody has like a HoloLens 2. Yeah, okay, I happen to have one because of my job, and you probably also have looked at it, right? And but the general public has not really experienced AR, right?
Yeah.
and Counter Debate says, "Lol, you don't want your wife to reprogram you, Sam." Okay, I'll totally stand here to my beer belly. Yeah, I've worked really hard on this, obviously, as you all know. So
every day you train for your beer belly.
I train for that like really, really hard, especially during these shows. Yeah, right. So probably this is going to give people an idea about how cool AR actually is, because I still think lots of people, they have heard about AR, right? They know there is AR, but they have never seen how cool it can be. Like, yeah, I have seen it. I've seen so cool things with the HoloLens 2, like games where like some enemies come out of my wall. It's pretty amazing, right? But if more people could feel it now with the Quest 2, and I'm sure some of the developers like you or some other developers, they're going to come up with some cool stuff that people really want to check out. So I'm very excited about this. And again, I'm excited that the Quest 2 is so good. I mean, it's ridiculous what you get, right, for that money. It's crazy. I mean, you also with the privacy stuff, right? People of this channel, they're totally aware of all these problems, but it's just tough to reject that piece of hardware, right? As an enthusiast, because it can do so many cool things. So I'm excited about this AR update, and I'm sure people are going to come up with some cool ideas on the Quest 2. And this is probably the first AR headset that goes to mainstream. Of course, it's very basic, and for sure the Quest 3, Quest 4, or whatever, they're going to be like cool devices that can do both really nicely. But it's very cool. So, Tony, you just mentioned the links from Stan from France, right? So, what are your thoughts about the device? What are your thoughts about that links, and what are your thoughts about that pivot from going from business now to consumers and business? You know, they made this pivot, and now they want to do a Kickstarter, and they want to sell this now to consumers. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, my first thought is that I would love to try it. You know, we are both in Europe. France is not that distant away. If there weren't the COVID, we would like to fly there and try it. Who knows if we will be able to do that?
Are you already vaccinated?
Luckily not. I will do that next week. So we took a bit of time in Italy. So that's a bit of problem. But anyway, it's,
But
it's
next week we'll get the vaccination, or?
Yes.
Okay,
Finally.
good. Great.
I couldn't wait to do that. So I really hope to
Right.
travel again, maybe next year. And one of the good things of traveling is also meeting new people and trying new pieces of hardware that maybe.
Oh man, I so miss too those events, exhibitions, like meeting people like you. We haven't actually met in real life. We only met in Sky, right? So it's about time that we meet somewhere. Yeah.
And talking about the Link, so it's one
Yeah.
of those devices that I would really love to Paris to try it. And I was pretty surprised by the news because also
too.
someone said it will be the Quest competitor. I said no. It has not the content of the Quest. People don't have the marketing power of the Quest.
Right.
But it's for sure a headset. It interests me for that mixed reality stuff again. So, and also the thing that I'm really curious are the lenses. And I know that you're curious as me because it's the first headset with those catadioptric. What was the name?
It's so crazy. Those lenses look so crazy, right? With those four walls going up. It's like I've never seen something like this before. So yeah, of course, I'm also excited to look through this headset. But I also agree with you that this headset it cannot compete against the Quest. Or I don't see it now. Probably they're going to surprise us with some super surprise information that we don't know yet. But how can it compete against the Quest when it doesn't have controllers and not those games, right? I don't see it. I don't see that now. But I don't know. Probably they will totally surprise us. I have no idea.
Well, actually, I think if I had to bet €1, I would say it's never going to happen. This is not going to compete with Quest. But I also think that if they release something that is affordable enough, maybe they can create some kind of ecosystem around their glasses with some developers or indies making porting of their titles. And now everyone is asking for porting of titles. This is another interesting topic. And they can have more companies wanting to buy it because maybe big companies are interested, in the headset like the Focus 3, but a small company can't afford it. So having a mixed reality headset for, I don't know, 500 could be good for that. So I think that can aim and entering as a good player in the XR ecosystem. Maybe I don't know how Pico has done in the beginning. So they arrived as a very tiny player, but they carve their own space and now they're growing. So I think that this is what Lynx can aim at doing. I really hope that they're going to do it also because, again, as a European, I'm happy that it's a European company and not only people from the States or China.
Same here. Totally agreed. Absolutely agreed. So I totally root for them. I wish them all the best. I want to understand the device more and how it can compete, right? I'm really wondering what kind of content can you play with it. So I guess you can stream your Steam VR games. So that is already some kind of interesting value proposition that you can stream your Steam VR content, right? And the question is just what kind of controllers are you going to use? Because it seems like it doesn't come with controllers. So controllers are obviously really important, right? So yeah, if you want to play your Steam VR games, you better be able to play with controllers. I mean, they have hand tracking, but yeah, you still need controllers. What's your thought about that?
I think this is the big problem of the Lynx on the technical side because they have ultra-leap hand tracking, and I still think that ultra-leap hand tracking with a new stereo device and a new runtime is probably the best hand tracking solution I've tried until now. So for sure, it is going to work pretty good. It's usable, but you can't play games with it. Of course, you can buy the Finch controllers to use with the Lynx, but I mean, I haven't read something about the Finch controllers. I haven't tried them also on the Focus Plus, whatever. They're not as good as Oculus Insight. So I don't see people playing Beat Saber with it on Expert Plus mode. Just saying. So
how do these Finch controllers work? How do these Finch controllers work?
And the Focus Plus, it was like ultrasound tracking.
Okay.
So that was able to track everywhere. But at the same time, if I try to keep the controllers like this, I could see the virtual hands moving a bit. It was not super stable. And I think if everyone is going for the Quest tracking mode, probably the reason is that at the moment is the one providing the best results. So I'm not fully sold on the Finch controllers for the Lynx, honestly. Again, it's good for enterprise use because when you're doing a training experience, you just click like this, you can be very slow. But again, for playing for the consumer market,
right. That's the point. That's what I also don't see. But probably the pass-through is so amazing, and you probably have seen the same videos like I saw. Like the pass-through mode, the AR mode is like mind-blowing amazing. Have you seen that? Like wow, the pass-through cameras are in color, and there is nearly no latency in these videos, and then they can project all kind of cool things into it, and they have this cool hand tracking. So yeah, probably it's not for the games that we normally play, but probably they can come up with some just amazing AR games that are now being explored by the Quest 2, but in perfect quality. That should also count for something, right?
Yeah, it's a possibility. The problem is, again, it's a matter of what kind of content. People are coming to the Quest because there are games, now there are coming games from Ubisoft, Population One. There are games that have been paid, AAA studios. Facebook is pouring lots of money to fund content. And since you are like me in the ecosystem, you have heard that some of these games have costed dozens of millions of dollars to create.
Right.
And a little startup like Lynx, what can ask is porting of, for instance, existing games. At the same can do the others, I don't know, Vario, whatever companies that wants to create mixed reality on a headset. But the one is that there is no amazing AR content until now. So if I can ask the Population One studio to port the game to the Pico Neo 3, so they are being acquired by Facebook, so it's not possible. But let's say Red Matter, one of my favorite games on the Quest.
It's good, yeah, it's great.
Is now on the Pico Neo 3 in China. And because they just had to do the porting, they already had the game. But what are these cool games that are already in AR that could be ported, to this kind of headset? And the answer is
Pokemon.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, that would be a big win if they say, what, Pokemon is here and you can play it with us. And here we have a good message here from Hussein X from the UK, by the way. OpenXR on Quest 2 soon should help Lynx get games ported over to it too. Yeah, if the device is OpenXR compatible, then lots of games could be on the device quite soon. So yeah, I would hope for something like side quest store for the Lynx, right? And if they had some cool side quest store and can build some cool content around the device, which is exciting. Yeah, who knows? Probably this can be something interesting. Yeah, I think the content question, this is really the question that they have to answer convincingly. And the controller question.
Yes, especially the content controllers. I think you said it all, but I think that Hussein has made a great point about OpenXR. So this can help newcomers to VR to have content ready out of the box. I think it's a very smart comment that he did. The problem of the Lynx is that he would also need AR content. I don't think Facebook is going to fund AR games for the Quest soon.
Not now. You're right. I agree. Yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to find out more about the Lynx and in which direction they are going to go. Cool. Yeah, and then Real Poor Man says the following. He says, Quest 3 and PSVR 2 are going to make VR mainstream. Agreed, I think so too. I'm so looking forward to the PSVR 2. How about you, Tony?
Well, regarding the mainstream, it's always a matter of how you define mainstream. So, PC, mobile phones, gaming consoles are all mainstream, but at different levels. There are billions of smartphones, but just hundreds of millions of consoles. So it depends. I think that, you have read that rumor that Facebook wants to sell 20 million quests next year. So
Okay.
that's anyway something that is mainstream, and PlayStation has the power of selling millions, and I'm very excited about PSVR 2.
Yeah,
I
me too.
also think that it can also decide the destiny of PCVR actually. So I think that it's correct, but not the super mainstream yet. To arrive at the PC levels, we will still need years. But finally,
Okay.
people will find normal maybe that a friend has a VR headset at home.
Yeah, that would be good. That people think like, okay, it's normal to have a VR headset. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Tony, we've been here like from the very beginning, right? You and me, like
Yeah.
we've been doing it since like 5 years. What we're doing, and even now, even after 5 years, it's still in the beginning. I can't believe how early we've been into this whole thing, and we're still here. And hopefully, once this is mainstream, we will still be there and not stop stop what we're doing.
Or maybe we'll be crazy and we will find another early stage technology and we'll repeat all of this stuff.
Right, right. Exactly. Once this VR goes mainstream, we'll find another topic, like I don't know, holograms or what. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, cool, cool. So that is that was Facebook and unlocking the AR mode. Really interesting, cool topic. And now let's go to the next news. It's a bit smaller news. It's the following here. Yeah, the report, the Oculus Quest 2 is probably going to come with the 128 gigabyte storage model, and the 64 gigabyte storage model might go away in favor of the 128 gigabyte storage model. What do you think, Tony? Does this make sense? Is it going to happen?
Well, again, for this, there are too many rumors for people that work in stores, leaked images. There is too much to
Okay.
not be true. I think it's a smart move. So since the VR games are getting bigger and bigger, 64 can be pretty limited. I have still a 64 gigabytes
Me
unit,
too.
honestly.
Me too. I also have the small one. Yeah.
I wanted to not give too much money to Zook, so I bought the smaller.
Yeah. I also like, okay, the 64 gigabyte version must do.
But actually now the games are getting bigger, so I think it's
Yeah.
good. They probably have noticed that also, after 1 year, the price of the memory has gone down, and so decided to change it. And I found it pretty strange just because, working with software, you can update things very easily. With hardware, changing one model with another in all the stores, blah, 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 is a bit more complicated. So I was not expecting that. But it's a smart move because all new VR users will be able to install much more games. And I will invite them a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agreed. And I think $299 is already a very cheap price. So I think people will pick this up for sure. For $299, have 128 gigabyte exactly, and then install more stuff. Probably it makes sense. It makes sense. Or would it not have made even more sense to go down with the price and to reach even more people? So instead of $299, keep the 64 gigabyte version and make it $249?
I think they're going to remove it because I think probably they have studied that
Just too
changing
small.
50 euros with just that small memory that maybe can give a poor experience in the long run. Probably they not.
Okay.
They
Okay.
think they thought it's not a good idea.
So you think it's just too small? It's just too small, and they just want to make it bigger. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. Yeah. I think this rumor is true. I think it's going to happen. Why not? It makes sense, right? So
Yeah.
they are like Facebook is doing so many smart decisions in general. Uh, they are doing a great job. but not with a forced Facebook login. I still have to mention that always. Okay, cool. So now, Counter Debate thought that he missed our talk about Lone Echo, but Counter Debate, I can tell you, no, you did not miss our talk about Lone Echo. It's going to happen now. We're going to talk a bit about Lone Echo 2. So Lone Echo 2 is coming to Oculus PC in August. To be more specific, on the 24th of August, exactly in 1 month. 1 month from now, we can all play Lone Echo 2. And the original Lone Echo, if you have not played it, now is a fantastic time to play it because it's only going to set you back $10. And you should totally invest those $10 because even though this game is now 4 years old, it's still one of the most beautiful titles that you will find in virtual reality. Right, Tony?
Yeah, it's those little masterpieces that we have since, I don't know, the beginning, since many years. Red Dawn has also created Eco VR for me. It's another masterpiece. So that game has been amazing. Created a new locomotion mode, kind of
so
empathy.
Good, by the way,
yeah, the graphics was so cool. The characters, the empathy. I think they're a very smart studio and probably one of the best purchases by Facebook.
Right. Yeah, it's so good. So good. Really, it's so great, the game. And the second part is going to cost $40. So the same pricing. And for all the people who own a Quest and who are looking forward to that game, you need a computer, you need a PC, you need a gaming PC. Yeah, don't forget that. You need a gaming PC to run this because this is a Rift game. The older people who are watching this, they might still remember the Oculus Rift. It's a PC VR headset. And yeah, it was discontinued by Facebook. So, and this Lone Echo 2 is going to be the last Oculus-funded game for the Oculus Rift. So, this is also like an end to PC VR, no, to Facebook PC VR. So this is not being played. You cannot play this if you do not have a gaming PC. That's super important. So I have seen some people in the Oculus Quest Facebook group who said like, huh? What's happening? I cannot play it here on my Quest, the Lone Echo. Yes, yeah, it's a Rift game. It's not for your Quest. Yeah, it's like when things were still coming to your computer, those old times. So yes, this is going to be the last game for PC VR. Yeah, do you have any special thoughts about this? Or what are your thoughts about PC VR as a developer? Is it over? Or is it going to come back? What are your thoughts? Does it make sense to make a PC VR game? What about PSVR? How does this play into this whole thing? Tell us everything.
Okay, so I take 1 or 2 hours to talk.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, man, we have time. I have nothing else to do afterwards, so tell us.
So just kidding. But anyway, as a developer, I wrote an article about it probably 1 year ago and sparked a lot of debate about this topic because I think that personally the Quest is a bit killing PC VR. And people tell it's not true because you can have mobile game on your smartphone, a PC game on your PC. And the problem is that why mobile game and PC game are really completely different games, so completely different platforms. At the moment, mobile VR and PC VR and PlayStation VR are all more or less, part of the same things. And if you define yourself a VR developer, you have to choose a platform. And you can choose it depending on your tastes, but usually if you're an indie and you want to survive, you aim for the money, you aim for the big market. And the big market at the moment is the Quest. We talk about Hitmotion. Hitmotion starts now as a Quest game. It is the behind the curtains, mostly compatible with all the other platforms, but it's a Quest game. We decided, okay, it's where the market is. Let's go there.
Of course. I mean, really, it's a no-brainer. I mean, everyone who makes a VR title and it's not on the Quest, it doesn't make sense. Like if I would make a VR game, I would totally make it for the Quest. Of course. And then I would probably port it to the PSVR 1 and 2 and all the other platforms, right? But without a doubt, the money is with the Quest. So, yeah, I totally agree, Tony. It makes sense.
And what is the problem? The problem is, okay, you start for the Quest, and then people say, why don't you port it to Steam VR? You say, okay, but you are an indie. So what you do is you take the game that you develop for Quest, and you make it Steam VR compatible. That like Hitmotion.
It's not so complicated, right? It's not complicated, right, to do that.
If you start with that in your mind since the beginning, it's not complicated. So when I worked on the Focus 2, when I reviewed it, I ported our game for the Quest 2 to Focus 3 in half an hour because we developed everything with cross-platform in mind. But what's the problem? The problem is you're going to release on Steam a game that has the graphics of the Quest. And so PCVR users will say, what is this? Shit.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
And they have paid for a 3090 graphics card and a 1000 watt Valve Index to play a game that runs on a Quest. And they get pretty angry about it, of course. And they're right, because I spend lots of money. Because people that are fond of SteamVR, apart from the privacy issues, is because they want super high quality graphics. They want multimedia elements that can surprise them. They want Half-Life Alyx. If you give them a game, only games with the graphics quality of the Quest, of course they'll be disappointing, and more people will not be that interested anymore in PCVR because it's the same of the Quest. So we have a content problem, and it's a big problem. Steam is good for us developers because it's better to create a community. So you go in early access, you get a community. People are more friendly there, are more supportive, and that's still a winning point of Steam. That anyway is a platform that has grown a lot thanks to Alyx. But Quest is still much, much bigger, and its projection of growth that are even bigger. So what I say is that I don't know what is going to happen, of course, but for sure PCVR could be hurt by this lack of content because content is the king. And I think one of the saviors of PCVR can be PSVR 2, because PSVR 2 has been made with quality of graphics in mind. And so if PSVR 2 sells a lot again, developers could find interesting that developing high quality graphics content for PSVR 2 and then port it to PCVR. And so PCVR can be better again. So I think that PCVR 2 can also decide a bit some of the destiny of PCVR, because it is a matter of graphics versus portability and easy use.
Okay, I understand. So PSVR, in your opinion, probably the PSVR 2 might somehow be a savior of PCVR by allowing the programmers to again use their full potential, make beautiful games, and then simply have the PSVR 2 build come to Steam VR, and then there will be beautiful games. Cool. Yeah,
and as a developer, just to tell everyone why they say that the graphics on the Quest are terrible, it's really very, very,
limited,
frustrating working on the Quest. Whatever you do, you never reach a 72 hertz or 90 hertz of frame rate. You really have to optimize everything a lot. So that's why the graphics look like the one of the PlayStation 2 or whatever, because really the graphical power is very, very limited. So for us developers working on Steam actually is much easier, because we can work in a more relaxed way. Even if we waste a bit of resources, the game runs smoothly. So let's see what it's going to be.
Okay, cool. I understand. So, people who are watching this podcast, they know already that I am a big believer in cloud. Okay, now again, it happens again. I'm going to talk about cloud. So in my opinion, PCVR is absolutely not dead at all, because Valve is going to come out with some headset, with a standalone headset that simply streams all of your SteamVR content. So either by you having your computer here, like in your play space, and you stream it via Wi-Fi 6E, or if you don't have a computer that can do that, you will simply stream that from the cloud. There are going to be cloud cloud gaming services that are simply going to play those high-end Steam VR games, and they're going to stream it to your Index 2 or whatever it's going to be called, and then you can enjoy all these beautiful games, and even on that mobile processor, because the mobile processor does not have to render this. Tony, you as a developer, what do you say to my vision of the future?
Well, I love it, first of all. It's my same dream. I think that one part we're going to come is before the other. I mean, we have seen the Steam Deck, so we know that Valve has the power of making standalone stuff. So we all hope for a standalone headset that maybe can stream super easily Steam content with a super neat interface. You put it on your head, you launch Steam VR games, and you play. That will be pretty cool, and we've already seen that it works. Regarding the cloud, having worked last year on a project that also involved some kind of cloud testing, cloud rendering, I have to say that the technology, the software, I can say that it's almost there. I've tried the NVIDIA Cloud XR SDK via 5G or whatever, and I can say that it's super easy to implement, and it works out of the box. It understands automatically how is the speed of the networks, how to configure everything. It's incredible. The problem is still the latency to the server. Okay. Because even if you have 5G, you have faster communication over the air, but anyway, you can't go beyond the speed of light. So the data must arrive from your headset to the antenna via 5G, then cable to the server. The server must perform the rendering, and then the data must come back. And all of this should happen in 20 milliseconds. It's very hard. At the moment, I would say
I couldn't make it so fast. So yeah, but you know what? Actually, like I am this beta program from Plutosphere, and this is some kind of cloud streaming service, and I tried it here at the MRTV headquarters, and I was surprised how well that worked. It felt as if I would be streaming from my local computer. Really, it's so good. And I was so surprised about this. So to get into this beta, I had to give them the ping, like my ping from me to my closest Amazon AWS server. And that was under 20 milliseconds, right? So that is okay. So this connection was fast and it worked well. It really works well. It works surprisingly well. So when I tried this, I could see the future of VR is there. I mean, I believed that before, but I didn't believe that it's like here already, that it can be done now in 2021. But it can be done in 2021. So I think this is going to arrive sooner than later. What do you think? When are we going to get that cloud streaming services for VR? When is HTC going to bring their service to the cloud?
Probably. I mean, they are very close also to NVIDIA, so it's something that I see also possible to happen. They already made, local streaming, the Focus 3, so I think it's possible. But as I said, I agree with you, the software is there. The problem is that the experience that you had was very positive. Should be available for everyone in every location. Yeah. So even someone that lives in the countryside, for instance.
Yeah, that's tough, probably. Yeah.
So I see that coming slowly at the beginning. So we need years for creating the server infrastructure. So servers everywhere, edge servers to provide this kind of functionality. I don't know what will be the time frame, honestly, for that. I think that already next year we'll have something more on the enterprise side or on big cities or whatever. But for something like this to become mainstream, honestly, I don't know, because I should speak with someone from the AWS or Azure or this kind of cloud providers, because they are the problem. Because the SDKs like the Plutosphere, like ISAR, like NVIDIA are already amazing. So if you have a server close to you, it's like working with virtual desktop. It's amazing.
Exactly. Right. So, yeah. It depends where you are, of course. So I'm in quite a big city in Germany, Dortmund. It's, I think, probably quite good internet. I don't know. In Turin, you're in Turin, by the way. Probably also have quite good internet. It's a big city as well. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, you're right. Anyways, we totally didn't talk about Lone Echo now. we got totally drawn away from the topic. So Lone Echo is the last game that Facebook is doing for the Rift platform. So the Rift platform is dead. But well, we knew that already for a long time that the Rift platform is dead, and it's not surprising for me. And we came to this topic about cloud streaming because I don't think that PC VR is dead in general. I do believe that in the very long future, I don't think that the content will be rendered locally most of the time. So yes, right now, yes. And we're living in some kind of time where things are still being rendered locally. But on the long run, everything is going to go to the cloud. Would you agree with that? That on the long run, let's say in 5 years, I don't think we're going to play. I don't think that our VR experience will be rendered locally. Or do you think in 5 years it will still be rendered locally?
That's a tough question. It depends on many factors. 5 years, probably. We hope that cloud streaming will have had success. But we have seen there was someone in the comments that mentioned, for instance, Stadia. Stadia already works decently good, but anyway, it was a flop. Even if now it technically it works. So there is NVIDIA with a streaming service. No one of them is taking fruit. So there are also some kind of psychological reasons sometimes you like to, especially if you are a gamer, you love to have your custom pieces, super powerful, make people envy you. And having something in the cloud is a bit more, I don't know, a bit more impersonal, a bit less cool. So there is also a social factor that you have to take in mind. But I think that sooner or later is inevitable. It will be 5 years, it will be 10 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
But sooner or later it is going to happen because there are so many advantages of using the cloud, so much cheaper, so many more functionalities, and can also enable more things for AR and VR. It's just a matter of time, technology ready, people that accept it. So I agree with you on that. Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's see how it goes. And again, we didn't talk about Lone Echo 2. So are you excited? Lone Echo 2. Oh yes, it is coming. And I'm looking forward to it. It's the 24th of August. Are you also looking forward to it? And on which headset are you going to play it?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to also because it's the end of an era. It's the end of the Facebook PCVR content. Yes. So and with I think a great game that it's been delayed so much time.
Oh yes, exactly.
I think that people started defining it like the Duke Nukem Forever of VR. The Vaporware game that everyone is waiting for. And it's good that it's arriving finally if they don't delay it again. I guess it has been delayed because now Reddit Down had other priorities for Quest content like EcoVR or whatever. But I'm excited because I really hope it can be as immersive, as cool, and I really hope also as innovative as the first Lone Echo. I hope to have some surprises. So not just the second chapter of the story or whatever. Maybe I hope there will come with some new mechanics, some new genius ideas that may surprise me. I love to be surprised by VR games, and I really hope that this last Facebook PC VR game can make me happy.
I'm quite sure it's going to make us happy. I mean, for the first game, it surprised us by the cool mechanics about zero gravity. Like how you could move around in that space station, and together with these beautiful graphics, it's totally magic. For me, it's like this is like the magic in VR in a game that you can feel like zero gravity. I mean, very few of us will ever in our lifetimes feel it, but thanks to virtual reality and thanks to Lone Echo, we kind of have an idea how it could be to be on that space station and to get around, right? So I think that was genius. And wow, it would be fantastic if somehow they could come up with another genius idea. Who knows? Who knows? Probably they will. Probably they will. So definitely, I'm so looking forward to it. So the price is going to be the same. So who knows? Probably it's going to have like the same scope, not super too long, the game. Yeah, we'll see. We don't know. Basically, we don't know anything. We have seen like a 50-minute gameplay video about it, but we don't know so much more information about Lone Echo 2. And but I'm pretty sure it is going to be the bomb. I mean, they've been working on this for so long, right? They've been working this forever. Like at one point, I really thought like, okay, you know what? Actually, they are porting that for the Quest 2. That is what I was thinking. Because, well, it took them so long. Did you also at one point think that they would just port this to the Quest 2 and make it a Quest 2 exclusive?
Regarding Lone Echo, I don't know. Personally, I don't think so because, it's the cool side of Lone Echo is that it's so beautiful. It's like Alex,
okay.
You can't port Alex to Quest. You will ruin everything about it.
Okay.
So we have Echo VR on Quest, and it's a great game. We can't say it's not a fantastic game. And we see that if it has been delayed by 2 years, probably Facebook is not that interested in Lone Echo 2. So they're releasing it because they promised it. And the community will be super happy about it. I'm super happy about it. You are super happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's the last dance.
Right, for PC VR. Exactly. Duggars K just asked, can you play Lone Echo and Lone Echo 2 if you don't have a Rift or Quest? Yes, you can. And you simply have to install software on your PC. You need to have a gaming PC that can do VR. That's important. But then you need to download and install a program called Revive. And with Revive, you can play most of the Oculus Rift titles, and it works pretty well. So yeah, you can play Lone Echo on all the other headsets. Like I've recently played it on the Vario VR3, and wow, it's just wow, it totally blew my mind. It's so beautiful. The game in itself is still beautiful, but then to see it without any God rays, with that perfect resolution where you can't see any pixel anymore, wow. Blown away, mind blown. Yeah, you've probably seen my through the lens video where I was a bit like fascinated, so that was pretty good.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You must
I hope
try
you can have the Vario VR3 when Lone Echo will be out. Please.
Oh yeah.
Ask them to keep it for
I
some
will.
more days.
I will try. I will try it. But you know what? Actually, I was considering to buy the Vario VR3 here for my business for the MRTV experience. Because I think if I have the Vario VR3 here, more people will even come here to the MRTV experience to check out the headset, just to see how the future of VR is going to look like. Yeah, let's see.
If you can afford it, buy it. I mean, you can say to everyone, I'm the guy with the Vario VR3. So
exactly. Come to the
like
MRTV headquarters.
It's like going down the street with a Ferrari, so you can be the cool guy in the surroundings.
Right. I'll try to be that Ferrari guy for VR. Very cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Lone Echo 2. I mean, there's not much to talk other than I think all of the community is looking forward to it. I think every single person who is watching this stream here right now is going to probably buy it on the first day, right? If you're going to buy it on the first day, people out there, please say yes. If you're not going to buy it on the first day, please say no. Would simply love to know what the people think, what the people out there think. But I think, right, Tony? I think people will buy it.
Yes.
Yeah, right, exactly. I also need to chime in. Oh, there's some people who are not going to buy it. Like, no, Skid Row is not going to buy it. And Evil I've... Yeah, Paradise Decay, yes. Hell yes.
I love Paradise Decay.
Oh, Phil Yarn, no. Why not Phil? Phil, I always thought like you also buy these titles on day one.
First sale is the best answer. At the Paul will buy
First
it at
sale.
first
Yes.
sale. He's a smart guy.
Right. Oh, Skid Row doesn't want to install the Oculus Store. No Facebook for Skid Row. Okay, that does make sense. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's Lone Echo. Looking forward to it. Now, the next short topic is this here. Fracked. It's a PSVR exclusive game, and it is an action game where you have like shooting, you have climbing, you have zip lining, you have all the good stuff. And there is a very cool demo out now that you can check out for free for the PlayStation VR. And I did check this out. And wow, I liked it a lot. Really, really cool. Like very colorful on the PSVR, especially. That's cool because of the OLED screen. Super, super enjoyable. And I had an amazing time with it. So yeah, you have some skiing, as you can see here. And you have that kind of cel-shaded look, like Borderlands. And I think they totally nailed it. So even on the PlayStation VR, which by now is a bit dated, right? I mean, with the resolution, it's kind of low. And other games, like for example, the last game that I didn't like is this, the shooting game, the last shooting game which came out. What's the name again? I forgot it now. The Sniper VR. Yeah, that looked terrible on the PSVR. like super terrible.
Really?
But really? Like I played it on the PSVR and I totally didn't enjoy it. Then I played it on the Quest 2 and there it looked so much better. But this game here, I played it on the PSVR, obviously, since it's an exclusive game, and it's so beautiful. I like the cel-shaded style, and it was really fun. So what do you think about this art style? Do you enjoy this kind of cel-shaded style?
Well, you know that I don't have a PlayStation, so I haven't been able to play this game. But I watch videos like this one that you're showing now. I love this game. I think it's cool that we're experimenting with many different styles in VR. So not all games should be realistic. This shaded style is something that I think is pretty cool and also good if you want to make something that is violent but doesn't feel that violent anyway. So something is not that realistic. I think the brain accepts it more easily if there are errors, if something is not perfect like in reality.
Right.
So I love it.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed that style. And what I also really enjoyed about this style is the mechanics. The mechanics of like hiding behind boxes, for example, all these kind of things. Because you have one free hand, your left hand, and with that free hand, you can grab onto things like you can see here. And
I love it.
Yeah, this is great. You know, this kind of mechanic of ducking and hiding behind stuff, it worked so well. So you can just grab the stuff like this box, and then you can, if you want to look up from it, you simply put it down, and then you look up, you shoot, and then you go back. So actually, this is like one of the best mechanics for this kind of like hiding that I've ever felt in VR. And yeah, Paradise Decay also loves it, and wow, I really, really enjoyed it. Like I streamed this game to my German channel, and wow, I had such a great time. So I think, first of all, it's pretty fantastic that there's still like exclusive games on the PlayStation VR, even so short before the end of that generation, right? I mean, it's like the last year, and then nothing, and then there's a PSVR 2. So it's cool that they will still give new content to the PlayStation VR, and this is not the only one, right? Sometimes they do these kind of like press releases, and then here 4 new games for PSVR, and I think that's quite remarkable for being so late in that life cycle.
Yeah, I want to ask you a curiosity about this game. Since I've been able to try the game, what about the locomotion modes? Because in the videos I've seen lots of locomotion possibilities with walking, skiing, jumping,
it works exactly. Yeah, so actually what they use is they use mostly the typical PSVR locomotion style. So on your left aim controller, you simply click on the big button, and then you walk, and then you simply show it into the direction that you want to walk. If you want to walk straight, you point forward. If you want to go back, you point backwards, and yeah, that works really well. And then if you want to look to the sides, on the right stick, you would click on the two buttons. Yeah, it's a typical PSVR kind of style. And then for climbing, it's very intuitive. You simply do like you would climb. It's very intuitive, very well done. And then when you ski, in order to change the direction, you would like do your head like this. Yeah, Fracked is really good. So I loved that demo. The demo was like probably half an hour, and then it stopped. And I was like a bit sad when it stopped. So yeah, you can like, I think, pre-order it now for 22 euros. And all the people who have the PlayStation, I can just encourage you to support this game. I really, really had a great time. So yeah. Paul asks, is this PS4 game or PS5? Yeah, this is a PS. Yeah, it's for the PSVR, so it runs on PS4. But on PS5, also they say I think you can use like a higher frame rate or so. So they somehow make use of the PlayStation 5. So yeah, it's a cool. I'm really looking forward to the full game. Full game is going to happen quite soon. So yeah. That is Fracked on the PSVR. Very cool. Yeah. And now, before we talk about your game, there's one topic that you are excited about, Tony, and it is brain-computer interfaces. And Facebook, I'm on your page right now. I'm on the skarredghost.com and looking at the top news of, I think, like 2 weeks ago or something. And top news of the week, Facebook gives up on brain-computer interfaces for now. So tell us a bit more about what do you think about brain-computer interfaces in general for VR? And in your opinion, what does it mean for VR that Facebook now is not excited about it? It seems like for now.
Well, brain-computer interface is something that I'm super fascinated about. If I had days with 6-7 hours more, I will dedicate them probably to study them more, because I think it's the long-term future of everything, of how we interact with technology.
Wow,
so
really? Everything? Of everything? Wow.
The Matrix. You
oh my God.
Read
Full dive.
Yes. The nerve gear, the Matrix.
I know. Yeah.
But even crazy ideas like the ones of Elon Musk, that basically with his Neuralink company, his end game is to have our brain to work in synergy with artificial intelligence. So basically, when you think about something, parts of your brain, when you think about something, you don't know exactly what is going to happen, but you have some neurons that fire and then think about what you want to think about actually. Imagine if through some interface, parts of this communication goes outside the cloud towards an artificial intelligence. So when you think, automatically, you think with your neurons and with some AI on the cloud. This is the goal of Elon Musk. This is really powerful. Imagine that I ask you, I don't know, to make a super complex calculus, and you do it like this, just thinking, because your brain is connected with some machines. So this is some of the fascinating ideas of brain-computer interfaces, like the Matrix is something that theoretically is possible to do. You have a brain plug that simulates your nerve sensations, and there are already experiments on putting information into the brain. Very, very simple stuff. Technology, for instance, called TMS. That uses magnetical fields. It was possible for some people to play a 1D game, understanding when they were colliding with a wall or when they could move without looking, just by information that just by triggers sent to the brain.
Wow.
So this is super fascinating. Of course, it's something projected a lot in the future because we know nothing basically about the brain. We know some parts of it, like all the processes, because we know pretty well the parts that work on the motor areas of the brain. And that's why we have those breeds that Facebook is working on, because all the working on the movements are more known by us. But all the rest, how do we feel the taste of something in the brain? We don't have a clear idea of how to simulate it or even how to read your sensation about it. And there is also the problem that at the moment the best interfaces require you to drill your skull. And that's another big problem, because I don't think that if you want to make a review for the MRTV channel, you want someone that opens a hole in your head and puts some electrodes inside.
No, not necessarily, right, yeah.
That's a lot to talk about. Now there are some devices, for sure you have reviewed some of them with like sensors that you put in your skull. But your skull is a big filter of information, so you can only understand the general status of what's in your brain. So some people made an example, it's like when you go out, you are outside the stadium. You can understand what's happening because you can hear people screaming if someone makes a goal, or if someone, is happening, something cool is happening, the match is over, but you can't understand who is kicking the ball at the moment because you don't have the vision. So that's why all these gadgets that you can put on your skull at the moment are good to understand if you're concentrated, if you're sleepy, blah, blah, blah. I can't understand if you're thinking about the Vario VR3 or you're thinking about the beer or whatever.
Yeah, everything together.
Probably. So there's a lot of work to do. And Facebook wanted to create an interface that goes outside your head and could understand what you want to type on a keyboard, because we all know that writing in VR and AR is terrible. And they promised it. They said in some years we have a virtual keyboard that you think about it and you type 100 words every minute. I was like, really? How? I was pretty surprised, and everyone in the BCI field was like, how are they going to do it? And in fact, they didn't succeed in doing it. They managed to do something that was able to write maybe 10 or 15 or whatever by having electrodes inside your brain. And so they ditched away the project because it's too long term. As they open sourced everything for the community, and I really compliment them for that. So I critique Facebook like you for many things, but it's good when they release the project abandoned to the research community. In this case, this can help people with disabilities, so I really compliments Facebook for this. But they're forgetting about BCIs for the moment, and they're focusing on the raised interface for AR. But BCI is something that many other companies are working on very long term.
Also Valve, right? Also Valve is excited about it.
Yes, Valve with OpenBCI is probably going to release a Galea headset or something like that next year with BCI sensors that can understand, as I said, the status of your brain. But what's interesting of Galea, this project, is that they say they mix different kind of data. You tried the Omnicept by HP. So imagine mixing the data of the Omnicept with some info about brainwaves. You can even have more data about the current status of the user. It can be useful for psychology, for training, for many things. So I think this headset won't become mainstream at all, but for researchers, for some enterprise usage,
it's very
for
useful.
People working on games, is amazing. I'm pretty excited about BCI, like a kid. I don't know if you are excited as well. It's sad. So
I am in general, yes, but for me it still feels like so far away. Like, I'm more excited for other things right now, like the cloud XR and stuff, because it seems like this is another thing. Probably in 10 years, it might be more viable. Some products like for consumers with BCI, and then it's only about reading, right? It's not about writing. Like the part where they write things into our brains, this is like so far away, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's a dream, but it's cool to see that, for instance, the EMG stuff with the bracelet that Facebook is working on is more viable. So let's see. I know it's probably something that 30 years, 40 years, who knows. But I hope to be still alive when there will be a BCI helmet and I can die happily after having tried.
Exactly. Who knows? Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Now we have talked about all the topics, and now we want to hear about you, Tony. We want to hear about the game that you're working on as developer and the game that people can download right now. So before we talk about it, let's have a look at your trailer, and I'm going to play your trailer now. This is Hitmotion, available right now. Yeah, good. So it has a pretty lady.
Yes.
Wait, let me just turn this off.
She was very kind to help us in doing this trailer.
Perfect. Yeah, cool. So tell us, what is Hitmotion? What do you do? So you are punching things? It's like a fitness game?
First of all, I want to say that Hitmotion is a game that we made as a team. So someone sometimes thinks that it's my game. It's not my game. It's the game of new technology workers and the other cool people that work at it, like the game designer Massimiliano Ariani, the 3D artists from MID, and the audio designers from DP Studios, and also the support from HTC that helped us in the beginning with the game for the Bifocus Plus. And the idea behind Hitmotion is to let people stay fit while having fun. You know, fitness now is a great trend of VR. Facebook believes in it.
Yes.
And we work actually since Hitmotion has a very long story, but just to describe what is now is a game where you punch stuff, you dodge objects, you theoretically move in the room, not in the demo, but there are levels in the other versions where you can move in the room, punch stuff, dodge objects, move a lot. And there are also some gamification mechanics like dailies, stars, achievements to try to keep you engaged in returning every day and stay fit. It's very cool that we launched it on SideQuest. We have submitted also for App Lab. We are fixing some problems that Facebook has notified us. So hopefully it will be out soon also on App Lab.
Okay. So right now people can go to SideQuest and get it for free.
Yeah, I get a free demo. Our idea was to make people. We wanted feedback. When you are an indie, you need feedback. You can't pay for test groups with hundreds of people to try your game. So we decided to put it for free so that people can try it, people can have fun, and that's important for us that there are people that try our game. And also, you know, during the pandemic, there are people at home so they can stay fit, playing our game, and also we hope to get some bit of buzz to get the attention to then be able to develop the full game that will be released with all the features that we have in mind.
All right, I understand. So tell us, how is it hard to get a game on App Lab?
No, on App Lab is rather easy. Probably later we can speak about the cube that I published there. But I can say that the App Lab thing has been thought quite well for the submission process. I mean, it's quite slow when you have an answer. But apart from this, the dashboard is pretty cool. And when you fail on something, you have a feedback written by a person that says why you have been rejected. So you can fix exactly that, resubmit it, and usually in a few days they review it again. So you don't wait again for weeks like for the first submission. And usually just look for that the game works and respect some basic rules. So the App Lab submission actually is something that I think all developers can make. It's pretty easy.
Okay. But then on App Lab, actually, you will not earn lots of money, right? You need your game to go to the real store. Will you say that if you make it to the real store, you have a good chance to make it big? Do you think that all the games in the Quest store, all the developers, they got their money worth of the development time and money they spent?
I don't know if every one of them, but at the moment that the content of the official quest store is still not that many, not that big, I think it is a good possibility. I think that everyone on the quest store is making money. I don't think everyone is making millions, but I think that at least everyone is making tens of thousands of euros.
Okay, not bad.
That's already a good result. If you think that on App Lab is very hard to earn money, because first of all, the contents by default are free. And you have to
Right.
write a letter to Oculus explaining them what will be the price, why, blah, blah, blah. So it's not even an automatic process to set your price on App Lab. That's
Ah,
pretty
really?
weird.
Okay, so basically everything on App Lab must be free first, or
First
not?
free, yes, and then you write a letter, contact Oculus, and you say you want to put it for €5, blah blah blah. So it's already a step that adds friction that I find a bit frustrating. But the biggest problem for FabLab is how you make people to discover you. So let's make an
Okay.
example. Let's suppose that Facebook had not rejected our game for some teeny problems, and the game now was an App Lab. No one will know it. Really, no
Right.
one. And there's
Right,
no
right.
way that people find it. So it's
Right.
frustrating. You are there, but you don't exist. You have to do all the marketing. You have to push however you can via side quests, via
Okay.
contacting the journalists.
Right. You have to go
Um,
on some kind of strange podcast, everything.
Yeah, whatever, and whatever you can, you go
Yeah.
on the street with a T-shirt of your game to make
Right.
people notice you, and that's a bit frustrating for us indies because it's already difficult the life of an indie because you're
Right.
always tight on money. Most of the time, you have to do something else, like we did consultancy. We at
Yeah.
NTW.
I also did that.
Yeah.
yeah. Like somehow we have to survive, right? We content creators.
Yes. And so having also that you are not discoverable on a store,
Okay.
it's a total disaster for
Okay.
us. I hope that Facebook will improve on this. If someone from Facebook is listening to this podcast, as I hope, I invite you to give us in this a bit more visibility. But then again, I think that anyway, SideQuest is helping all us indies to have an opportunity. We have some hundreds of downloads of our game until now, even if we had not spent even €1 on marketing. So we have
Okay.
to thank something like SideQuest to give us visibility.
Okay, cool. And also, I'm going to put the link to SideQuest into the description of this video. So
Thank you.
if you're watching this right now, or if you're listening to this right now, I am going to do this. And you know what? Let me actually we can put it right now into the chat. Let me just put the link to SideQuest. One moment.
Let's see if it works because sometimes YouTube blocks the links.
Yeah, but for me, it should work actually. Can
Let's
people
try.
see that right now? I think, yeah, probably. I hope people can see it. Anyways, I will put the link to the side quest. I am going to put it down into the description of this video.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. So people can download it right now and check out what Tony had made there, or at least the free demo. Cool, very cool. So you mentioned that you have been working with HTC on this device, so on this game, or they were supporting you.
Well, the game actually is born as a game for the Vive. It was one of the launch titles of the Vive Focus Plus. So
Okay.
there was this opportunity when HTC was launching the Focus Plus. We proposed them this content that could give value to this 60UF device. It was the first device. It was like the Quest 1 of HTC. And we proposed it to them, and they were pretty happy to support us making this game. And it was launched with the device. And as I said before, it was a mixed reality game. So it could punch safely everything. It was the same mechanics, but all in AR. It was even more difficult because the AR plugin that we made was pretty heavy. So we had super limited resources to make the game. So the graphics was super simple. But it was a cool ride. It was cool to launch the game in Shenzhen in front of 100 Chinese people that couldn't understand what I was saying probably, but who cares? I was super happy to be there. the team at NTW was following me on stream. Everyone was happy together with me. So we're grateful for them because they believed in us and gave us the possibility of creating the first version of the game. And luckily, the Focus Plus, in the West was more enterprise headset, so it's not a device where it's good to sell a game. But so that's why we started working on porting on the Quest. But of course, we don't forget the support that they've given us. On the human side, they still support us on the Quest. We're evaluating maybe to see if it works on the Focus 3 or whatever. So it's been a pretty cool ride, as I said. Being a game developer is not easy as some people think. So as a team, we have to work hard to even make a simple game, like at the moment is Hitmotion in this demo version. But it's a lot of effort, but it's satisfying when people make us compliments because they say that the game is cool, is make them sweat a lot because they have to punch really a lot.
Right.
Max, the game designer, was a bit psychic in this. I said, I want people to really be trained. I want people to sweat. And I said, yeah, let's do it. I don't want to make a simple game. So it's really good to get to be trained. In these 5 levels into the game is pretty fun.
Okay, so for all the people who would like to work out a bit in their Quest 2 or Quest 1, you can do that now with Hitmotion. And again, the link is down in the description of this video and also just now in the chat. So please do check it out and give Tony some feedback, right? That's what you want. You want feedback. So give Tony feedback, rate the game on side quests, for example, and all the good stuff. Tony, so how is it? How can you get into the store? How does it work? Like into the real store? So you send a message to Facebook and say, our game is very good. Please let us go to the store, or they will just connect with you. Or do you have any idea about how that works actually?
Yes. So basically, it's interesting to speak about this. So people think that you release an app lab, and if you are doing good, you go into the main store. Actually, it's not exactly like this. Even when I talk with people that are making Puzzling Places, the game by Reality.io, great team, great game, they told me that they have not been promoted automatically from the App Lab to the Oculus. They said they had to pitch the game to Oculus again. They were rejected the first time, and they made a new pitch showing the numbers they had on App Lab. And this convinced Oculus to publish them. When I talked with other developers, all of them told me it's about speaking with the right people inside Facebook and Oculus. And prove that you're able to deliver a great game that is worth at least $10. That's what Chris Pruitt says is a $10 rule. If your game is, or experience is not theoretical, you wouldn't pay at least $10 for it. Probably it won't arrive on the Quest store. So you have to provide them the proof that you're a team that can do it, that you are engaging the community, that you're going well, that the concept is cool. So they want to verify that the game can be successful. And this is, and you must convince them. It's like, when you're looking for investment. So you really have to convince them and speak with them. So this is important. Of course, you have to speak with someone on Facebook. This is what everyone has told me. I know that also an address, whatever, where you can contact them through a page that someone has passed me. Probably when we will have a master plan and some more data about the people that use it on SideQuest to provide them, we want to go there with a pitch and hear their opinion about our game. We will try to do that, of course. Someone asking me on the comments also about Steam. We are thinking also about other platforms, of course. First, we want to understand what is our potential on Quest, fix some bugs that the community is notifying us, and then we can think also about other platforms.
Okay, interesting. So Hitmotion, again, please try it out and give Tony more feedback. So Tony, you made a very interesting article It's like the article is like, can you survive in this industry? Tell us a bit more about this. Can you survive as a VR developer right now, or what does it take for people to make a living in this still very young industry? I mean, you've just mentioned you did consulting to survive, and actually, I also did it. I also consulted companies in order to make the money to survive, because the numbers are not there, right?
Yeah, I think that people, not everyone knows that it has been also pretty hard for me in the past working in this industry. So when I started New Technology Workers with Mike Sariani in 2017, I remember that I was just shaking my head every time. It was super difficult to find consultancy jobs. It was very difficult to find people to speak about potential games or whatever, because it was the moment the VR is that period. And really, I could only speak with people that maybe were interested about VR, and then they disappeared or whatever. I was very, very frustrated. I did whatever I can to earn a bit of money, and that was pretty hard. I will say that since 2019, with the Quest, with rumors about iLeaks, with many more things, the situation is much, much better. And I think now it's possible to survive doing only AR or VR or things that are similar, CGI or whatever. It requires still effort. So
of course, yeah.
It's not like doing websites that you can have lots of requests every day because everyone needs a website. But now, if you have a good network, if you fight, if you diversify your earnings, like you, Sebastian, you have a YouTube channel, you do consultancies, you have the MRTV experience. I'm a developer, I'm a blogger, I am a copywriter, I'm a consultant, so I have a passion, lots of things. And if you unite all these things together, and you can earn, you can make a living, and you can be happy about it. But I know people that are still not there. And I want to tell them to be patient, because we are still in the early days. You said this in the beginning. We are very still a niche. So if you can't live out of VR, maybe find another main job, a part-time job, full-time job, and keep some time every day to keep working on your passion of VR. Sooner or later, it can become the source of your earning. Can say that because I've been there. I've done that.
Same here.
2 terrible years, and then slowly, because I believed in so strongly, I managed to arrive at this point where, I can eat with VR.
Yeah, same here. So, wow, Tony, we're so in the same boat, right? I mean, we do the things that we do because of pure passion, because we love the stuff. I mean, we could do other things in other industries and have a good living, right? But we were like, no, we will stay in this industry. We do our things, and now look at us. We made it.
At the moment,
at the moment. I mean, also for me, exactly. Like, it was tough to reach this point, but now I've reached it. I can live from what I do, right? From this YouTube channel, and then from the MRTV experience, where people come visit me here in the office, and I show them all the headsets. Yeah, right, exactly. You have to, like, at this moment in time, you still have to look for several things, right? Several money streams in order to make it happen. But I'm really happy for you and me that we made it somehow with this crazy passion of ours, right? To stick to this. We've been here from the very beginning, Tony.
Right. We will believe. So we have seen that hard moment. So we have gone together. We have seen each other going for terrible moments. Everyone, we try to smile in public to say, everything is going good.
Everything is going very good, yes.
We are super successful. But now, actually, we managed to find our place.
To live, exactly.
Still to keep fighting. That's the problem.
Of course. We still are like, fighting and working hard on it. But at least there is like hope, right? I mean, I can sustain my living. I'm happy with this, and at least we follow our passions. And it's still in the beginning. Let's see where we're going to be in 5 years or so. So tell me, how did it start with you? How did it start with the Skarred Ghost, with your blog? When did you write your first article? And from all your money income streams, which is the one which pays the most? If I can ask this question.
Yeah. I'm very open to talk about it so that we can help the people that are listening to it.
Right.
So I always been a tech guy that loved multimedia. I started with VR, we can say in 2014. Actually,
Okay.
we wanted to work in AR. We bought the Google glasses. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it was my first project was with
Okay,
a
cool.
guy called John. It was a previous university classmate of mine. We wanted to do something with immersive technologies. We bought the Google glasses from the United States.
Okay.
I wore it. I still remember the day. I was super excited. I wanted to wear the future because I've seen all the YouTube videos. I put this in the. I had this tiny display with the number here. I was like, what is this thing? I mean, I seen the videos. Like I'm going the subway, talk with my friends, and it was just the time in this tiny display.
So tiny, yeah.
Yeah, and it overheated after 20 minutes, and we had to turn it off. It was a terrible experience. But that day, the day after, my buddy made me try the Oculus Rift DK2. I tried the Tuscany demo, and I fell in love with VR, as I said. I decided to dedicate my life with it. And we started with a project with full body VR, with Kinects, VR, headset, the Rift DK2. We could have your full body avatar with the Rift DK2 and with the Gear VR, like 2014 and 15, even before the Vive. It was a crazy project, but no one believed in it, so it was a disaster in the end. But during that adventure in 2016, I was suggested to open a place where I could talk about my experience in doing these, things with full body VR, etc. Someone told me, this is a fun moment because we're in an accelerator for that project, and we were talking with a marketing expert. And we said, hey, how can we do marketing for our project? And he said, you told me that there are still not experts in VR, so you must be the expert in VR. So, Master Yoda, I said, yes, Master Yoda. So I started in 15th of August 2016 with a terrible thing, with a really terrible post about hello everyone, and flower as an image or whatever. It was really terrible, but it was the beginning. So then I started trying out space VR, some other experiences, and I don't know why people started reading it. I still wonder why sometimes, but I prefer not asking.
Okay, of course. So then you simply kept on writing articles, and more people were reading them, right? And it's cool. It's I think you write amazing articles, also like in-depth articles about how can programmers use the focus trees, hand tracking, all these kind of things, like very in-depth, and it's very enjoyable.
Thank you.
So is the blog your most important way to interact with the XR community?
Yes. So speaking about interactions, so sometimes you said also this before we started this podcast, if I'm more like a developer or a blogger.
Exactly.
I am, in the end, I think I'm like, a monster. I'm both of them together. And I think it's important for two things. So being a blogger let me connect with people like you. I would never have met people like you without it, or with Mr. President of HTC, Robert Scoble, Charlie Fink, all the people here in the chat, Paradise DK, all these people, just because of this. And I met lots of people smarter than me. I learned a lot from you all, and that's been very important. It's been also very important because some of these people say, hey, you're an expert. I want to create a project. I say, no problem. I'm also a developer. We have new technology workers, and we can create projects for you. And it's also cool because being a developer, I keep the attention high on what is happening. So I use
the
Unity.
latest stuff.
I develop things. So actually, when I discover something, I can share it with people. It's something that two parts work together because, for instance, the outreach stuff brings me connections that I can use for my job. My job brings me knowledge that I can use to
Right.
create
Right.
articles.
Right.
And the only problem is that I'm getting crazy because I'm not the time to handle both well, because really they're super time consuming as activities both. So this is a bit of problem, but it's good because I can do two things that are so different from each other. So my brain is more
Right.
active, it's more intriguing. I want to also answer your questions from before. So you also, since we are talking about the very things I do, so what is that makes me earn the most money? And I
Yeah,
can say that
exactly.
at the moment is the job of the developer, and specifically
Okay.
on the VR events that I'm doing with Vroom. So
With what?
Vroom. Vroom is the
Vroom.
French company. Vroom. Vroom.
Okay. What is it about?
Uh, it's a French company that had also a website. There was a news called aggregator in the past, but actually it's a company that works, to promote, uh, we can say artistic content, events, etc., and also creates them. So the South by Southwest 2021 in VRChat is something that we did together with the Vroom Studio. It was last year's concert with Jean-Michel Jarre, 75 million views,
Oh,
and this
exactly.
kind of
Yeah, yeah.
stuff.
Oh, you did that.
Me and all the people at
Yeah, of
Vroom,
course. Okay,
and
cool.
it was Venice VR last year. It's the pandemic has accelerated it a lot. Actually, we started before. We started in September 2019 with Louis Cacciuttolo. And because he is a very passionate about VR, about art, and say, I want to experiment with VR events. And he was looking for a tech guy. I say, hey, why don't we partner and do this together? He said, why not? And so we
Okay.
started experimenting with VR chat. I picked VR chat because, in my opinion, it's the best to do this kind of stuff. And then the pandemic arrived, and from an experiment has become something that exploded completely because everyone was looking for a virtual event to substitute a physical event. And that's why I can
Right.
say that it's what has been the most profitable for me in the
Okay.
last months. But as I said, I have lots of other things that I do. So, but just to give um, people tell something that these things about the metaverse, about multiplayer
Right.
experiences, blah blah blah. There is a lot of hype, but there is a lot of opportunities of also earning money out of it if you can create something that provides value to people, like concerts or virtual festivals. So that's something that everyone also should investigate.
Okay. So if somebody is new to VR or thinks about a career, you would encourage them to go into XR?
I think that the first thing is if they have the passion. If they have the
Okay.
passion, I would say yes. Because if they just
Right.
look
Like
for
you and me.
money, I would say yes. because if you just look for money, probably I don't know. I would
Probably no.
suggest you personal growth
Yeah.
website.
Right, right,
Broker and New York Stock Exchange or whatever.
right.
Better to earn money. But if you have the passion, you can earn money out of it. Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I also think if you have the passion, I think all of our future is spatial and VR and XR, right? So I think for the long run, everything will be in that space. It's going to be so mind opening what AR is going to do to us in the future. It's going to be even bigger than VR. That part I am personally sure of. It's going to totally blow our minds what we will be able to do in AR with glasses that we're going to wear like all day. So I would also think it's a future, and if you are a developer and you're excited about these kind of things, look into it. There's so many things going to be coming up. And then if some big companies like Apple going to join, I think then we do reach that mainstream, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be super exciting.
I can't wait
Yet,
for the big wave.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Wow, Tony, we've been talking already for 2 hours, and 2 hours is normally like, yeah, our time to stop the podcast. Super nice to catch up with you and to get to know you more and better. Do you have any famous last words for today? Do you still want to talk about something, or do you want to say something? Now is your chance.
Well, talk about something. I know there is not the time, but it would be cool also to talk about, the VR events, what we did, the experience that it
Oh
was,
yeah,
and
of course. If you want
we
to,
can speak about it probably for 5 minutes. We
Yeah,
were
sure,
even
absolutely.
featured on the Unity blog with the
Okay, that's
project for
cool.
the Jean-Michel Jarre's concert. It was featured on French TV, whatever. I can say that the virtual events field is very interesting for a developer like me,
Right.
especially because it's something that is studied more artistic than
Okay.
technical. So it's a different job. It's like you have to support the artists. The artists have lots of ideas that they want to make reality, and they probably also want to make things that are not possible inside VR chat or VR at the moment. So they would love to be on Quest with the graphics of PC, have special effects everywhere. So it's a matter of making lots of compromises about what is possible and what they want to do. So the concert of Jean-Michel Jarre last year was amazing, was incredible, and because I think that it shows the power of VR. Because it was, some people are trying to recreate real life in VR, and that's cool anyway. But doing things that are impossible in real life, so this is even cooler. So
Right.
being in Notre Dame, that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it's burned down. We still have to reconstruct it
Right.
to do a concert of electronic music in something like sacred, like Notre Dame, for the end of the year to celebrate art. It was, it's magical. It's something that it will never happen in real life, but in VR is possible, and people could go there in in this church, enjoy the concert, speak with other people, jump together. We were again during the lockdown because it was the end of the year. We're still during the COVID, and we could party inside this church, listening to music with 3D elements going towards you. So something that was it's really impossible in real life to have 3D effects around you, and the result was incredible. So 75 million views are really a lot. Of course, China has helped a lot in this because it was also later on published on Weibo and other Chinese channels, and we know that Chinese people are a lot, so it's easier to pump the views if the Chinese
Right.
like your content. Also because Jean-Michel Jarre's wife is a famous Chinese actress, is Gong Li.
Ah, really?
Yes, so
Cool.
this happened as a lot, of course. But anyway, the feedback that we got was really overwhelmingly good. And it's interesting for me also that even if we have most of our views on TV, on Weibo, on Facebook, on YouTube, so in 2D channels, who lived it in VR had satisfaction that was much, much, much more than who lived it on YouTube or Facebook. So VR can't give you at the moment the same volume of views that YouTube can give you. In fact, we know that Wave VR has abandoned VR basically for now because investors say, hey, your views are on
Right.
standard means. But the experience that you have in VR is not something that I am saying. It's something that everyone that has tried that is saying is so much superior, so much
Of course.
more immersive that once you leave it in VR, you can't watch it on a 2D means anymore. So that's why we still have to push for VR events, festivals on. May them be hybrid, be full virtual on something that is immersive. Because just the live stream is not enough. It's not real VR.
Right.
It's not really virtual. It's something nice. It can be nice. It can be good, but can't be mind blowing like VR. So this is my my lesson from that concert, because it was incredible. Then there is a long post-mortem if you want to read about all the story about it, but it's very, very long to read, but you can feel how it is for a team of around 15 people who worked on that part of the event, working together to create an important VR concert. I think it's very, very
Cool.
interesting.
But you know what? I totally agree with you that this kind of VR events are actually the future. I mean, it feels so real. Like I also have been to like a virtual disco before, and yeah, I mean, obviously, especially now during the pandemic, of course, it's fantastic. But also later, because probably I don't have the chance to see Jean-Michel Jarre in Dortmund, here where I live, right? And I don't have the means or the money to travel to New York City or wherever he has a gig, right? So this opens up so many possibilities. And I'm still so excited about this technology. Yeah. Even I mean, you and me, we've been in this industry for so long, and we went through all these hard times, but we're still excited about this technology, and it's still fascinating to be part of this, right?
Yeah, it never ceases to to surprise us, and when it gives us those strong emotions, I also remember,
Right.
apart from the concert, I remember some storytelling experiences, like, Dear Angelica is still one of my favorite ones. I was almost crying while watching it, but as a man, I didn't cry, but I really wanted
It's
to
okay, you can cry.
because it was really
Right.
emotional. I think this technology can give us emotions that others still cannot. So that's why it's
Right.
amazing to be in this field. And why we still be here in 10 years, probably we have another video. We say, hey, 10 years has passed by. We still have the same passion as before.
I think so. I really think so. And yeah, we will for sure in 10 years still talk about it. Hopefully on this channel or on your blog. Who knows? Or probably at that time you also have your own VR 3D YouTube channel. Who knows? At that time in 10 years, who knows?
Who knows? Let's hope so.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think you said it's time. So
Right.
as a last words, if I can say that, is also
Yes, please.
one. Apart from thanking you for hosting me here, because I
Oh, you're
really
welcome, man.
appreciate, I love what you do, and
Thanks,
I
man.
really have to be happy to be here together with you. I thank everyone watching this video now or in the future when it will be on YouTube. My invite for you all is really, it may seem very, very simple and usual a piece of advice, but be committed to VR. This technology is really going to disrupt something sooner or later, and put all your effort really in what you believe for your passion. So like me and Seb are doing it, it's very hard. Probably you will, if you want to make this to become your job, probably you will want to give up at least 3 times every year. But you have to not do it, have some friends that support you, let the community support you, connect with everyone, learn from everyone around you, try different things, and in the end you will succeed. So me, Max, I see now that is in the chat, Massimiliano Ariani, do we know that very well. We worked also with new technology workers. You know that well. Everyone in the industry knows that very, very well. You have to fight a lot, but in the end, the results will be amazing. And in 10 years, we'll be here saying that we'll be the pioneer. We're the pioneers, and we'll be happy to have created this ecosystem together.
Wow, that's very beautiful last words. And also, yeah, all the people who are now in the chat, I think we're all pioneers of this technology, even though we've been in that now for 5 years. And yeah, wonderful. We'll stick to our passion. And Tony, thank you so much for taking more than 2 hours to talk with me. It was fantastic to get to know you better. And I'm sure also, yeah, it's great that more people get to know you and your blog, Skarred Ghost. Again, I'm going to link it down in the description of this video. And also, again, please try out Tony's game, Hitmotion, and give Tony all of the feedback that would, yeah, help him right? So Hitmotion. And yeah, Tony, thank you for being such an important member of this XR community. Really appreciate everything that you do. And yeah, we're going to keep in touch, obviously, and we're going to stay in this industry.
Yes, again, thanks to you, Seb, and let's push this all together.
Yeah, we do. We do. Exactly. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching today's podcast, season 2, episode 2 of the Next Dimension podcast. All of the other members, if you missed them, they are on vacation or they couldn't make it today. So yeah, looking forward to see them again as well next week, hopefully. And if you enjoyed today's episode, give it a thumbs up. And of course, also, if you have not yet reviewed the Next Dimension podcast on iTunes, please do so. Because one thing that you can do to help this podcast is to actually write a review. It's going to take you 2 minutes. You go to the podcast app on your iPhone or your iPad, you open it, and you look for the Next Dimension podcast. And hopefully, if you enjoy the show, you give us a 5-star review. All right, that is everything for this week. And we look forward to see you in the next week. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, that's it, Tony. We're still live now. Yeah, just to let you know, we're still live, and we're going to have a little after show. And just want to ask you, how was it for you to be on the show?
Wow, it was pretty cool. I was a bit nervous in the beginning. To be your
really?
channel, I was pretty excited, and it was cool speaking with you. So we started speaking a bit more normally. I was a bit less nervous,
tell.
and it was good. I mean, it was a good chat. I didn't even realize that we were past 2 hours, so I couldn't even
it's
go
so
on
fast,
for another
like
hour.
this. Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, me too. I know I could have talked with you like without a problem for 3 hours, right? But then normally I see, okay, this is getting too long for the normal audience. So then normally at 2 hours, I like say, okay, you know what? We have reached the 2-hour mark and we got to stop. But I also feel the same. It feels like this, right? If you're passionate about the topics, and we are obviously, and then to talk about it is simply great. Yeah, so thank you everyone here. Massimiliano Ariani, you know him, yeah?
Yeah, he's the game designer of Hitmotion.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, greetings to you. Massimiliano Ariani, cool.
Yeah, he I work with him like since 5 years, with ups and downs. He has seen all my progresses with the blog. We worked together on so many projects. It's like when you go to a work together with someone, and you become very strong friends. So it was great to have this journey with him. So I think he needs a bit more recognition for what he does. Usually he works a bit. I'm very active on social media. He is less visible, but he is super passionate about VR, also about robotics, and he's a super gamer and has cool ideas for games. So Hitmotion is so cool because of how he has designed it. So kudos to him.
Very cool. So how about Italy? How's the VR scene? Do you have lots of Italian VR YouTubers?
We have something. I mean, we have, for instance, VR Italia is a good magazine about VR.
Okay, cool. A magazine, a real magazine?
It's a website with a YouTube channel, all in Italian people. Then we have some cool startups, for instance, working on VR projects or B2B projects, blah, blah, blah. I think what we miss in Italy is mostly, a coherent ecosystem, also maybe supported more, I don't know, by the government or whatever. I don't know how to say that. I mean, I know, for instance, in the Nordic countries, the gaming community is also supported by more public initiatives. There is more ways to get communities. While we are more, everyone is trying to do something together. Sometimes we collaborate, sometimes not. I would love to see something more united or together a common goal. And this is not happening yet. I hope it will happen in the future. But Italy is a bit behind US, China, and UK regarding technology. But I think we have, we have good minds, especially when we want to a bit fantasy, want to create something, or want to have some aesthetic taste on what things should look like. So we have some advantages. We should exploit them a bit more. So sorry if I make the questions to you, but what about Germany?
Oh yeah, actually in Germany we have quite a big YouTuber scene, like lots of German language VR YouTubers, like very vibrant. And yeah, I'm just one of them. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I do all my content in both languages. I have like also I'm doing a podcast, a German language podcast, which happens every Sunday with three other people from the YouTube scene, from the VR scene in Germany. Wow, the German VR ecosystem is really strong, I would say. And there's also like game makers who make games, and like we have like the government. They fund lots of games. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's quite nice.
For instance, I write a lot in English because I noticed that you have a much wider market when you're speaking
Yeah,
English,
obviously.
writing English.
Right.
So that's why I very rarely speak in Italian or social media, etc. It's not because I don't love my country, but because it's, you can speak with many more people. Even lately,
Yeah.
I'm doing some events since the beginning of this year with a girl called Cecilia Lascialfari. She's a VR passionate professional person in AW Night Florence events. They're all in English, and there are lots of people from all over the world that watch them. We noticed that, it's a much bigger opportunity to be online and speak English
Yeah,
than
of course.
just use your native language. But
Yeah, of course. That makes
it's
sense.
cool that you managed to make also content in German. I would love
Oh,
to
yeah.
have the time to make something in Italian, but I don't have it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like all my videos are in both languages, so it's double the work. But it's really it's a lot of work, right? And also like the podcast, right? I talk about all the topics like twice. But yeah, but you know what? It's also cool to speak in your own language about the topics, and yeah, probably like the opinions are sometimes a bit different. Like when I speak with my German colleagues about Facebook, probably we have like a very similar thoughts about Facebook and the privacy issue, as compared to when I speak with my American colleagues, right? With Anthony or with my UK friends like Gary. Probably they have like a little bit different kind of thoughts. So it's cool to do it in all the languages, in both languages. Yeah.
Yeah, we both are also connected to the Far East. One day I hope also to make some content in Chinese, but it's
Oh
difficult to speak it.
wow. Yeah, that's right. So you've been in China or in Taiwan, or where did you go?
I've been in both places, like 5 times in the Greater
Wow.
China in general. I've been there usually for 2 weeks, 3 weeks every
Okay.
time. I'm quite connected with people there with some WeChat community, so that's how I got
Alright.
these AR glasses.
Cool.
And yeah, I love interacting with Chinese people also
Yeah, me
because
too.
it's a different culture. So
Yeah, it is.
you
Obviously.
learn a lot. You learn that there is a different way of seeing things, of doing things, than the one that you have always
Right.
heard about. It's very fascinating.
It is. Do you speak the language, or did you learn the language?
I learned a bit of Chinese.
Okay,
The problem is that the only way to learn Chinese is going to China because
cool. Yeah, right.
because
That's
it's
true.
so for who has never tried to learn Chinese, the very frustrating stuff is that basically it's a language that you learn by listening what the others are saying. Because
Right.
there are some grammar rules, but they are the first ones that I don't use them. so, so basically, it's very frustrating for me as an Italian. We have a very strong grammar, Learning a language that is like you take some words and put them there in some orders. And what is the order? It's the one that Chinese use. I say, yeah.
Right.
Can you speak?
Yes.
Can you explain that to me? And that's very funny. I can speak something. I'm able to take a taxi alone, a cab alone. I can to be in a restaurant to start speaking with someone. But when the topics become too complicated, I just give up.
Right. Yeah, it really helps if you live there for quite a while. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. So thanks everyone for watching episode 2 of season 2. And again, thanks Tony for being here and for being such a great guest. It was such a pleasure. And now we're going to end this stream. And all the people who are watching, still watching, don't forget the thumbs up. And we're looking forward to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
And the review.
Right.